Hello there folks, it is TIJ Gaming and welcome to a new season of Conquering the Euro on Football Manager 2021. Today we start Season 8 of the series. It's the 2029 to 2030 season, so we're going to be going into a new decade in a few months' time, which is quite scary, but hopefully this year is the year. We begin our season, we've got a visit from Tottenham, who had a dreadful season last time out, but who knows, this year they could be a threat under Mauricio Pellegrino, and then we go away to the Mediocre Stadium, I presume it's still the Mediocre Stadium, to play against Reading, newly promoted club last year. They did pretty well in the first season, so both of these sides are unknown quantities. It's fair to say everybody is an unknown quantity at the start of the year. Now, last year's Premier League was quite significant. It was the first time in 4 seasons that Manchester United did not win the Premier League. They were beaten on the last day by Chelsea, and that just gives anybody, the likes of us, anybody who's looking to win the Premier League title this year, a little bit of hope. It is possible. And in last year's Premier League season, we finished 10 points behind the champions, and we were talking in the last episode that perhaps there were a few chances missed. We drew 7, we lost 9 games. Again, draw 5 maybe rather than 7, and we're up to 3rd place, only 6 points off Chelsea. But last year has been and gone. We've had 3 incredibly consistent seasons with Everton. We had 71 points in Season 1, the first full season with Everton, 72 points in the second, and 73 points in the third season. And we finished 4th each time. Some very peculiar placings last year, there really were. Leeds United finishing the Champions League spots. Sheffield United finished 6th. Man City all the way down in 11th. Liverpool in 7th with a point to prove. It's going to be an interesting season this year, and Liverpool's new manager is not Thomas Tuchel as we'd expect. It is Steven Gerrard who has taken charge of the football club he loves, and again, you know, we have to say Gerrard was one of the best Liverpool players of all time, so it is a bit worrying seeing that we have potentially got Liverpool there. The Club World Cup took place in the summer, and it was Paris Saint-Germain who won it. They beat Bayern Munich in the final. Manchester United were in 3rd place. But I guess we're looking at Everton. I think this could be our season. I'm quite optimistic because for the first time they've actually... No, they haven't. They've changed it again. They need to make their minds up. When I looked at this season preview a few weeks ago, we were up in 6th. Now that's very different. Very, very different. They've actually, and I think this is offensive, they have said that newly promoted Wolves are going to finish above us. That ain't going to happen. Again, they just don't seem to think we're very good. I do. We're predicted to finish 9th. I think we'll punch above our weight. Chelsea, last year's winners, are favourites for the league. United just behind them. Liverpool 3rd. Yeah, I do think that they're going to do well this year under Gerrard. Klopp being sacked after nearly a 15-year tenure. Leeds, they're thinking to do well again, finishing 6th. Sheffield United, last year's surprise package in 15th. But again, I really wouldn't worry about this season preview. I think we're going to have a good season, and consistency is all that matters, I guess. So let's have a quick look at our transfers. It is going to be a quick look because, as expected, it wasn't a busy summer, really. And we knew that Alex Iwobi was going to leave the club. He went to Sampdoria on a free transfer. That was something that was done in January, out of my control. I'd have liked to have had the depth of Iwobi, but it does get something like £100,000 of our wage bill, so I don't mind that particularly. But we are going to need some good performances from the likes of Benito Owen, Deji Satona, Hamilton, Reece Nelson, all of these good attacking players to fill a spot, which could be a spot that potentially we haven't replaced. But we'll see. We also sold Joel Stewart, one of our backup keepers, to West Bromwich Albion. He was 23. He was going to be a backup at best. He went out on loan to Dundee United, did decently, but he was never going to get in the first team. So he's gone to West Brom for 1.2 million. Again, an Everton youngster. We haven't lost anything on him. We've also sold Dennis Zakaria, which went down as a bad move in the team. Reece Nelson come to me and complained. But I was looking at the tactic in the summer, in July, and I'm thinking, where on earth does this guy fit in? Again, he was on a lot of money at the club. He's been a very good servant to Everton. Came on loan in the first year I was at the club. It was a loan that was agreed by Ancelotti, and then a loan to buy clause was put in as well. So I didn't necessarily buy him for 17 million. But he's made over 100 appearances for Everton. Been a good player for Everton. But you know, he's 32, his age, and he's in the last year of his contract. And we've managed to get 4.7 million for him, rising to 5.7. So, you know, we probably paid, 11, 12 million for him over 3 or 4 years, which I'll certainly take. A few of our players have gone out on loan. Scott West, Alex Allen, Russell Lee, Michael TL, all fairly young players, although the likes of Scott West is 22. Russell Lee is 23. Alex Allen, again, he's 23. I mean, Alex Allen is one that he's worth a fair amount of money. But again, we've got that much depth attacking-wise that he's going to struggle to get into the side. So he goes out on loan again, and we'll see how he gets on. One more sale of note as well. We did sell Terry Bernard to Derby County. We actually made a loss on Terry Bernard again, a player that was bought in before I come to the club for 10.75 million. Never really got into the first team. Looked a good championship player based on some of these loan spells, and he has gone to the club that he spent 2 years out on loan at, Derby County, for 9.25 million. So we haven't lost the world on him. We've lost $1 million or so, but he's a player again that, because of our brilliant depth in attack, was never going to get in the side, and I think he was one on the last year of his contract as well. So that's all the outs then. Let's have a look at the ins. And again, there's not much action here. Some youngsters really, and a backup goalkeeper as well. We needed one of those, definitely. So quite apt for this year, and I'm sure I can get plenty of clickbait when he gets into the side. Pablo Corona has joined from Deportivo, whatever that club is. This was one we agreed earlier on in the year. He was one that our scouts said he could be a player, and yes, he could be a player. He's only 18 years of age, valued at £5.75 million. Current ability 2.5 stars. He's definitely going to be a 4-star player, and he's going to be the long-term replacement for Valentino Livramento, I would say. Livramento's a good player. He's a consistent player, but I think personally that we might look maybe in January. It's too early at the moment. I don't want to rock the boat too much, but I think it might be time for him to potentially move on in January because we want an upgrade in that position. And apparently Pablo Corona is already as good as him, so it might be worth getting him out on a loan spell. He played a fair amount of football in Mexico's top league. 6.65 rating last year. Again, I don't know how good or bad Deportivo are, so it's tricky to see whether he was playing in a good or bad side. But it wouldn't hurt for him to go out on loan, which is exactly what we're going to have a look at doing now. We've also signed Graham Knox from Nottingham Forest. Again, another very good youth prospect, £110,000. And that was only compensation. His contract was running out. Forest didn't extend it, which I think is bizarre. He looks a player that probably is going to be a 3.5-star player, or maybe a 3-star player. Really, if anything, a profit player. Probably not somebody who's going to be in the first team. And then our final signing, and he looks a pretty good player, does this, is Lucas Lavallee from Lille. Again, doesn't set the world alight in terms of a fancy 5-star keeper, but he's a 26-year-old with experience. Look at him compared to Pickford. He's actually a lot better in some areas. Pickford, again, is 35 years of age, and goalkeepers are a lot different to other players, aren't they, in terms of they can develop a lot later. And he's had plenty of football. He's played for Lille. His first real full season, you have to say, in Ligue 1 last year. 7.06 was his average rate, and only conceded 40 goals. Lille finished 5th in the league last year. Again, one of the clubs with probably, there you go, the 4th least goals conceded. And he's going to come in, although it says here as a first choice, really as a second choice goalkeeper. And the natural replacement for Jordan Pickford, because Jordan Pickford is now, how old is Jordan Pickford now? Jordan Pickford is 35, so he's getting on a bit. Again, I'm more than happy to keep him playing because he's a very solid keeper. He had a very good season last year, and before that, he's getting near a 7 out of 10 every match. You can't ask for much more from Pickford, really, but we do need somebody to come in if Pickford gets injured. So that's really it in terms of the transfers. Nothing too exciting, but we have got youngsters that have developed. A big one here, Hamilton Sierra, did very well last year. Got the Next Gen Award, which was brilliant to see. I think he got Young Player of the Year as well. So he is a very good player. Played very well for us last year. An average rating of 7.32 over 28 games, which is absolutely mesmerising. And himself and our big striker Robin van den Berg have got a very, very good partnership. So that should just blossom over this season. We've got other players that have developed as well. Benito Owen, Josh Hope. I don't think there's much need to bring many players in, to be truthful. We've got a good side, and hopefully we can be a bit more consistent this year, and let's see if this can be our season. I've said, I think, in the last episode that if we don't go and win the Premier League this year, it might be time to look elsewhere. And I said in the summer we might take on the Juventus role, but as a matter of fact, of course, Tuchel didn't leave Juventus, it was Steven Gerrard. So, we are here for another season at Bramley Moore Dock Stadium, and I'm very excited for it. So, the side hasn't changed much. I'm going to be completely blunt there. Pickford's in goal. One change at the back is that Michelangelo Messina plays at right back. Really because we've got to do it. Livramento's got a pulled groin. Messina is 3.5 stars at right back. Now, Livramento is only 2.5 stars. And I appreciate everything isn't about star ratings, but I want to experiment with Messina at right back anyway to see how he gets on. Almeida and Godfrey are in the central defence with Larios at left back. We've got Lewis Bates and Lorenzo in the midfield. Now, of course, Messina was the man last year that was really playing that role instead of Lorenzo. And if Messina does go back to midfield, I struggle to find a place in the squad for Lorenzo. The only 2 positions he can play, well, there's 3, I guess. There's the midfield role, which if it gets taken up by Messina again, that's 1 out. And then he never gets in the side above Hamilton and Vandenberg unless they have a terrible run of form. So he actually might be one that we say, he might be somebody that, I mean, we can't send him out on loan. That's beyond ridiculous. But I would like to see if we could maybe float him in the market to see how much he might be worth. But we'll see. I'm very hesitant to do that at the moment. But ultimately, it just shows how good we are in attack that a player as good as Lorenzo, with the potential of Lorenzo, is struggling to get into the side. Harrison Solkin plays at right wing. Sierra in the attacking midfield. Benito in at left wing. I'm going to show you these 2 players for new viewers of the series more than anything. Harrison Solkin is a solid player. Another Everton youngster, joined from Colchester. Had 19 games for us last year, an average rating of 7.08. The only thing I would say about Harrison Solkin is that really he could do with getting a few more assists and goals to his name. That wouldn't hurt him at all. And then Benito Owen starts on the right, a signing from Stoke last year. He played for 6 months for us. 10 appearances, 3 goals, average rating 7.13. And he can really set the standard this year, I think, at left wing to see how he gets on. Again, another change has been forced, really. Our main pick, Deji Satona, is out with a bruised ankle. But at the start of any season, players get their chance, don't they, at the end of the day? It's whoever's fit. Again, Livramento's unfit, Deji Satona's unfit. As a matter of fact, Jordan Pickford has got a bit of a niggle and is only just about back for this game against Spurs. So it could well have been Lucas's first game for us. But again, I'm very hesitant to replace Jordan Pickford, as I guess you can imagine. First game of the season, though, it is fair to say we always have a good start to the season. We just seem to have a blip, which we can never really recover. Probably about halfway into the season. There's already been a game, though, at lunchtime today. That was Chelsea against Leicester, and Chelsea put 3 past Leicester. But again, the first few games really aren't really telling of much. It is just good to have a good start, but it's very much, for me, at least this time, just carrying on from last season. And at the end of last season, we were playing brilliantly. It's just a case of perhaps whether teams figured us out. And of course, Tottenham had a really bad campaign last time, but that's not really the way we want to start things. Harry Kane scores for Tottenham. He's still there at the age of, 36? A reminder, actually, I tried to bring Timo Werner in the summer, who's a player that you actually will know. I think he's 33 now, but he got released by Chelsea. But he would have been a really good backup striker for us. You know, we've got Josh Hope, who's a good second choice, but if we got somebody on the bench who could come and really affect games, I think it wouldn't harm us at all. It is fair to say we're being FM'd a little bit here by Tottenham. We've had more possession, but we haven't really done a lot with it. Still early days. I can't remember the last time. I think it was our first full season, that we had a bad start to our Premier League campaign. Hopefully we don't have a bad start here. Bait to Godfrey. Oh, just off the upright of the post. Unfortunate there. Tottenham had a bad season though last time out, as I've said repeatedly. So they are a little bit like Liverpool and Man City, teams with a point to prove. But hopefully we can get 3 points still against Tottenham. A goal before half-time wouldn't do us any harm. Hamilton Sierra, back to Godfrey. We need to get something happening here. Decent ball from Godfrey. Solkin still puts it into Vandenberg. And there you go. Harrison Solkin gets his first assist of the season, as we said. And Robin Vandenberg already with his 50th goal for Everton. We signed him for £91 million a few years ago. And last year he really made his mark. He scored 30-odd goals in all competitions. And he scored his first of the season there. But great to see Solkin getting an assist. More than happy with that. We're definitely coming into our own in this game now. I think it might be a good shout to put our more attacking tactic on. And then we can really make the most of this superiority. As you can see, that attacking tactic which we've had just pushes things on a little bit. Unfortunately, we've not been able to do a team talk. I've completely forgot about that. But hopefully it won't harm us too much. But we're certainly on top here against Tottenham. And that is what we're trying to do against teams like, I don't want to say like Tottenham, but bear in mind they finished 15th, I think, last year. Teams like Tottenham who aren't the best. We want to really make the most of our superiority. We had too many draws last year, and we had a strange point where we just couldn't score goals. And it seems with this, it's not really a new tactic as such. It's just pushing more players up the pitch and hopefully making the most of that superiority. And it was with this tactic that late last year we beat Reading 5-1, Man City 4-1, we beat Chelsea. It's been a tactic that's worked for us so far, so let's see if it'll work going into this season as well. Solken still, I'm not too sure about that. I'd have loved for him to make it 2 assists, but unfortunately he hasn't quite done it there. But it looks like the run of the game is suggesting that we should take with the 3 points today. Solken looks quite tired, so we're going to bring Reece Nelson on for him. Benito Owen hasn't had the best start to this fixture, so we're just going to encourage the lads. Again, hopefully get 3 points. It's something that, based on how we've played at the moment, I think we deserve. But it's just all about taking the chances, really. Hamilton, who's been very quiet in this game so far. Lorenzo, back to Michelangelo. Who's done a good job at right back. Nothing really to note. Lorenzo again. Michelangelo puts to Reece Nelson. Can he get an assist? Nelson into the box. Good clearance from Beltran. But it's a foul, apparently. I don't know what that would be a foul for. Just looking at this, though, whilst we have a bit of an interim. Look at the average rating of our defence today. Absolutely sublime. It's actually Pickford who's had the poor performance at only a 6.6. But then I guess he hasn't been challenged much. But the performance of our defence has been absolutely tremendous. It's a penalty. And this could just be a chance. It's Lewis Bates who's going to take it. And hopefully he'll get his first goal of the campaign and we'll take the lead. Fair to say, a deserved lead. And he has. He's put it in the back of the net. Lovely finish from Lewis Bates. And this should be 3 points. And that gives me real confidence at the start of this season because we look good. We've dominated so far here against Spurs. A little bit of a blip at the start with conceding that early goal. But we've got a good run of fixtures actually. I'll show you that in a little bit. We've got a good run of fixtures to start the season. So we should be looking good again. And Robin van den Berg with his second goal of the game. It's 3-1. As the commentary says at the bottom here, you would think that it settles it. And there's no doubt in my mind that implementing the more attacking tactic here has really paid dividends. That more defensive tactic is a bet against the big sides. And hopefully you can understand why I played it here against Spurs. Because you just don't know. They had a bad season last time out, but this game is very funny, and we are really, really romping against Tottenham now. Benito Owen scores. We're 4-1 up at the BMD Stadium, and that is probably the best start to the season we've ever had. So we can probably afford to rest some players here. We've got Lorenzo, who's not had the great game. We'll put him off for Kenneth Taylor. Another player who we potentially look to offload in the summer, but again, he wasn't really somebody who we could get enough money for. And we're also going to... We'll bring Pat Meyer on for Messina. Messina seems a bit tired. A brilliant performance. I think that said it was 7.5 out of 10, which again is something that you can't complain about at all. Absolutely tremendous performance. And to come from 1-0 down to go and win this game, it looks like 4-1, is an absolutely tremendous start. We've got Reading up next, and we should be able to make it 6 points from 6. But that is a tremendous start. Robin van den Berg with the Player of the Match award. And as you can see, the XG tells the story. Brilliant performances throughout. It's going to be Robin van den Berg who gets the plaudits for scoring the 2 goals. But a good team performance and an excellent start to our Premier League season. Let's have a butchers at how everybody else got on, I guess. So Chelsea beat Leicester, we know that. Bournemouth beat Derby County. Sheffield United and Watford drew. Man City looked good. They beat Southampton 5-2. And Wolves, supposedly the Wolves that will finish above us, lost their first game of the season to another side that are going to look good again, Leeds United. But top of the table will be, not necessarily because of goal difference and goals scored, it'll be for Manchester City. But a good start, as somebody said in the comments there. Good all-round performance, defended well, attacked well, and hopefully we can do the same. Hopefully this headline is the same for the second match, but it says Reading rather than Spurs. Well, based on the current form table, I know there's only been one game, but this should be another 3 points for us, really. We've had exactly the same side play here that did against, Tottenham. That's the one. Some interesting names in the Reading side, managed by Gareth Southgate. They've got Sergio Reguilon, who's a player I recognise. Eddie Nketiah is in the side. Ryan Nyambe is one I recognise as well. But of course, like our side now, really, because we're in 2029. A lot of regens, which again is fairly obvious. We've gone for the more attacking formation today. I hope it works because you just never know against smaller sides like Reading. They could really trump you. But if we play anything like we played after we conceded the first goal against Spurs, it should be 3 points for us. Reading are playing in blue, so obviously we've got our away strip today. Salkin, with potentially an early chance, but he gets dispossessed by Sergio Reguilon. Messina, Lorenzo, great ball to Salkin. Salkin one-on-one with the keeper. What a strike that is. And Salkin starting the year like we'd want him to. I criticised him a bit earlier on, saying that he didn't score and he didn't get assists as much as he should have done last year. Well, already he's had 1 goal and 1 assist in 101 minutes. So you can't argue too much, as long as he keeps that up, really. Reece Nelson is going to be somebody who's disappointed because Salkin, Owen, Satona, Vandenberg are all going to keep him out of the side. Benito Owen, nearly a brilliant second goal. But we do look like a good side. Certainly we always have done going forward. But I think this more attacking formation gives us a bit of confidence that we can do that and really allows us to make the most of our superiority. It looks like Leicester and Manchester United drew. So that's a good 2 points drop for United already, because United just seems to win everything all the time last year. But, you know, if they're dropping a point here and there, that's certainly not going to harm us. Reading aren't challenging us whatsoever at the moment. No shots, actually. They've just had their first shot, but not on target at the end of the first half. So we looked pretty good here. To be fair, we've only had 5 shots, so not the most exciting of football matches ever. And I could do with us getting a second just to make sure of things. Because, again, it's a classic, isn't it, that every football side gets a chance in a game. And there you go, that's the chance for Eddie and Nketiah. It's going to be offside, that is, for Reading. You just know it. It is too repetitive with the VAR in FM, unfortunately. But I guess it's something that happens in real life now, that you secretly know it's offside, but the VAR gives it. I mean, you have to say, there's only been 3 minutes in this second half, and Reading look like a team that have come out with a bit of passion here and a bit of fight. Hopefully, we nick it off them and go make it 2-0, but this just might not be it. And Ben Bruce makes it 1 each. And that really wasn't good enough from us. I said that Reading have come out of the blocks with a bit of fire, and, you know, we've not really offered too much going forward today. I said we haven't had many shots. I've said we demand more of the players just to get them firing a little bit more. Owen is a player that is a bit tired today, so we will bring Reece Nelson, I think, on for him. See how he gets on out on the left-hand side. Would be a shame, though, to drop points against Reading, because it just sets a precedent, like last year, that we drop silly points against sides like this. Again, we've got 15-odd minutes to go. It does make me worry, this, that, you know, might not be our day, potentially. Not a lot we can do, though, if not, I guess. 4 points from 2 isn't the worst way to start the season, but it would be nice to get 6. Can this be the second goal for us? I mean, we could even go and lose against Reading. That's not something I've even contemplated, but if we do, then we are doing a bit of hat scratching. That really isn't what we were aiming for from Hamilton Sierra. A very rare off day for both him and Vandenberg. So we're going to bring Josh Hope on for Vandenberg, and we're going to bring on, I guess we swap Lorenzo and Hamilton around, and we'll bring Kenneth Taylor on for Sierra. Got 10 minutes left. We'll go very attacking, see what we can do. But at this point, we're a bit powerless. We should really win this game. But if it's anything to go by what has happened in previous matches for us when we've gone very attacking, it could well be the opposite. Let's see, though. Dudkin, Reguilon puts the ball up. Almeida gets it. Pickford saves. Let's try and distribute this quickly and get it out. What can Pickford do? Hoofs it out, straight back to Reading. That's the only risk with that sort of ball. And then Nketiah's on the ball, shoots. Oh, Pickford makes the save. Almeida gets it out. It does make me worry if we go very attacking that we are going to give up all the 3 points. And we only get a draw against Reading today. A real let-off for them, it's fair to say. I'm not happy with that out there. We should have done a lot better. But not the worst start in the world. Man United drew against Leicester. Again, you can say it's an opportunity missed, can't you? But yeah, I guess it was a bit of an off day for us. We get a point. It's not the worst in the world. I'm trying my best to be positive because, you know, if you start being negative and berating every time you don't get a point, then, you know, there's no point really. Pardon the pun. Norwich beat Chelsea, so all of the big sides have had not the best start in the world. Only Man City with 2 wins from 2. Norwich as well with 2 wins from 2. They played Newcastle in the last game, so it looked like it could be a decent side again. Wolves, again, lose. So, I mean, it was 4-3. Quite an exciting match there. Bristol Rovers have had 3.4 million, as part of the Josh Hope deal. That's a shock. But not the worst start for us. I'm not going to come back for the start of the Champions League like we usually do. We might do, depending on where it falls. But I think we have to come back, don't we, for this Chelsea and Manchester United double, just to see how good we are against the big boys this year. We've got Leicester, Norwich and Newcastle before that. Again, you'd be expected to beat these three, but Norwich are a bit of an unknown quantity. They've certainly started well, so we'll see how they get on. But not the worst start. Would have liked to have made it 6 points from 6, but 4 ain't that bad. If you enjoyed that, folks, make sure to leave a like down below, comment your thoughts as well, and subscribe for regular Football Manager content. In this episode, more than ever, really, likes and comments and engagement are that much more important because a lot of people seem to jump back in at the start of a season. So, if you can leave a like and a comment, it'd be really, really appreciated. Anyway, I've been TIJ Gaming. Thanks for your company today, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye for now.